name's Michelle and this is my Woolly Wumpkins channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Before we get on with it, please like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of the episodes, particularly of this crochet along that we're starting today. So, are we ready? Have we chosen our colours? Well, I know I have. If you have, can you please let me know what you're using? Which yarns are you using? Which colours have you chosen? Are you going to be mainly crocheting whilst watching the video? Or are you going to be crocheting with friends? Tell me how you're going to go about doing this crochet along. For myself, I'm going to be crocheting along with my daughter and with several customers who've been in touch with me already. Some are going to do it privately and some we're going to do a Zoom room with. So if you'd be interested in joining in on the Zoom room, let me know and I can send you the details privately. Okay then, so we're going to start first with a granny square and we're going to take our first colour. Now for me this is going to be grey. So we're going to take our grey and we're going to make our square. So I'm going to turn the camera around now. I'm going to show you how I make a granny square. There are many ways to make one. This is just an easy way to make a granny square. I did practice with putting chains in between each treble of clusters, but for me I'm using 4-ply yarn and the finished garment was too drapey. So I've chosen not to do that. But you'll see now as we get on with the square. Come on in. Let's take our grey yarn and we're going to be working on this square here. We're going to be starting in the middle there and working our way out. Now you'll notice there's a hole in the middle and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's one way for you to know if you've done enough rounds. You count the hole in the middle and then you count the other holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you'll see what I mean though in a moment. So we are going to take our crochet hook. Mine is a 3.5mm. I'm just going to make sure this is focused. I go like this and then pull that yarn through to make a nice start to my chains. We're going to do 4 chains, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, by the way, excuse my nails. I did have them done and they all flaked off before I could do the video, so sorry about that. So we've got 4 chains. Let's just make sure that's focused again. We're going to take our hook now, we're going to put it into the first chain hole. Okay, we'll put it in there. Now we're going to catch the working yarn and pull it through. Okay, and that's what it looks like. Then we're going to catch our yarn and bring it through those 2. So you've made a little circle. We're going to do now 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to wrap around for our treble. We're going to go into the middle of the circle. So we're in the middle there. We catch the yarn and bring it through for our first treble. So bring the yarn through the first 2 loops, bring the yarn through the second 2 loops. Now we're going to work a further 10 trebles into that hole there, so the trebles will come around here. So in we go. So a second treble, third treble. Now my thumb generally holds onto the hole to keep it there, so we know where we're trebling. So around here, in through the hole, catch the arm, bring it back out, and then my thumb clamps onto the hole to keep it there. Round, into the hole, back out, clamp, catch the arm, bring it through two, catch the arm, bring it through the next two. Around, into the hole, catch the yarn, clamp my thumb there, catch the yarn, bring it through the first two, catch the yarn, bring it through the second two. Around, in the hole, catch the yarn, bring it through. Let's just unravel a bit more. Oh, just decided to fall off. There we go. And we've lost our focus. Come back. That's it. Marvellous. There we go. Can you see how it's starting to work up? Now I've lost count of how many trebles I've done. So we've got my initial chains there, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 more, because we want to have 11 trebles and 1 treble that is made of the chain stitches there. Here we are. Now then, let's just get this nice and focused again for you. That's it. The light is changing in my house. Typical. If I keep it down here, it might be a bit more easy to stay focused. There we go. So now we're going to close this up to make a circle. We're going to go in to the top of the chain. Now you could just go through the chain loop there, pull that through, and you know what, that's fine. Or you can go through the actual top stitch of the chains, which is there. There you go. And again, pull it just through both, and you just have less of a hole. But as you can see, either don't really matter, particularly with the granny square, because we're going to make some holes around there anyway. So now this is the start of our square. We've made the circle, which is our centre there. We've got to get this circle now to accommodate a square shape. So what we're going to do first is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to treble. Now I like to close that hole there by going into the hole before the 3 chain stitch in the circle. So I'm going to do a treble in there. When I bring it out, it'll be a bit more clear to you where I've gone. Here we are. Can you see that? I've made my treble into the hole between the last treble of the circle and the chain stitches of the circle. Okay, now we're going to do another treble in there. And we've got a 3 treble cluster. We're going to work 2 chains, 1, 2, and we're going to make a corner. Now how we're going to do this, we're going to go into that same hole that we've just worked in, and we're going to work 3 trebles. So in the hole goes 1 treble, and again remember which hole it is you're crocheting into. It's this one here, not this one and not this one, this one in the middle there. So our thumb can clamp it to remind us where it is. So in, work our treble, and then in, work our treble. And it's starting to take a corner shape. If we were to pull that corner there, can you see how that looks like a corner starting to appear? Now we're going to count our 3 chains there, then 1, 2 trebles, and that will give us a cluster of 3. So we're going to work a treble into the hole at the end of the cluster of 3. In we go, 1. Don't worry, I'll show you now so you can see what I've done. Okay, so I've missed 1, 2, 3, and then trebled into the gap between number 3 and number 4. Okay, so we're going to do that another 2 times. Treble into the same hole is what I mean there. And then in a 3rd treble into the same hole. And we're going to make, that's at the side now of our square, we're going to make another corner. So this focus has just changed, so I'm just going to tap it to try and bring it back. There we go. So we're going to work 2 chains, 1, 2, and to get a corner we're going to work 3 trebles into the same hole that these 3 trebles are in. Here we go, into that hole. My thumb clamps over it to remind me where the hole is. And then we work a 2nd treble into that hole. And then we work a 3rd treble into that hole there. And we have our 2nd corner. Could you see now how this is starting to take shape? It's no longer a circle, is it? Alright then, so we're going to move on now. We're going to count 1 from in the circle. We're going to count 1, 2, 3 trebles and find the hole in between the 3rd and the 4th treble. And we're going to work a treble in there. So we're going to put the yarn around, going to go in there and work a treble. Now we didn't work any chains by here because this is our side. We don't want a corner, we want a flat edge. But what we do want is to work 3 trebles into this hole. So that's our 2nd treble. And now our 3rd treble. There we go. Now we want another corner, so again I'm tapping this to try and bring the focus back. Keeps jumping over here for some reason. So we're going to work 2 chains, 1, 2, and we're going to make a corner, so we're going into the same hole that these 3 trebles are. So in there, that's 1, 2, 3. Hey, look, we've got 1, 2, 3 corners. We're getting there. So we're going to turn our work and find, we're going to count another 3 of this, looking at the circle here. We're going to find this hole that we've last worked in and count 3 trebles. So 1, 2, 3, and find the hole between the 3rd and the 4th and work a treble into there. And a 3rd one. And we need our final corner, so we're going to work 2 chains, 1, 2, yarn around, and we're going to go, because we're turning a corner, we're going to go into the same hole that we've already worked in and do a further 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So we've got our 4 corners and so far 3 sides, so we need a 4th side. So we're going to close up this 4th side. Now you can either just slip into the hole that's between the 3 chains and the next treble there. That would be perfectly fine. Or you can go into the top of the 3 chains and bring your yarn through and bring your yarn through, closing our square. We've achieved something. Hee hee. So now we're working on the next row. So I'm just going to bring myself some yarn up. Okay, so we're going to do 3 chains, 2, 3, and we're going to work a treble into that gap there. So 1 treble and 2 trebles, and our first chain, 3 chain there, counts as our 3rd treble. Okay, now we're going to move on to the corner and work 3 trebles in this corner hole. So 1, 2, 3, and as we said, it's a corner, so we need to turn, so we need the 2 turning chains, 1, 2, and then we're going to work 3 trebles into the same hole as these trebles here. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. And we've got ourselves a corner. Now we can already see that there's a hole in the centre there of our original circle, and then there's 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. We need a total of, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can keep track of where you are. Now we're going up a side now, so we don't use any chains in between our treble clusters. So we're just going to put 3 trebles now into this hole, in between this treble cluster and this treble cluster. There we go. Here, that's the 3 for the side. Now we're going into a corner. So again, we don't use any chains because we're still on the side. We're entering the corner. So 1, 2, 3. Now we want to make the corner. 1, 2, and then we want to finish the corner off, so we're going to put another 3 trebles into this hole. 1, 2, no, sorry, that was 1, 2, 3. There we go. We've made our second corner on this round. So we don't use any chains now. We go straight into the next cluster and work 3 trebles. Marvellous. Just getting some yarn up. It's gone and rolled under the chair. So. Again, we don't chain any because we're still on the flat side. We're going to put 3 trebles in this next hole. 1, 2, 3. We're at a corner, so to turn the corner we need to have 2 chains. 1, 2. And then we go into the same hole as our 3 trebles we just made. And we work another 3 treble cluster. So 1, 2. Well, why is focus gone over there now? Sorry, folks. Okay, so we're on the next side. So we don't chain anything, we just treble into the next gap between clusters. And we work 1, 2, 3 trebles, then into the corner, but the end of the flat side, so we don't work any chains yet. We work in 3 trebles, but now we are at the corner, so we have to turn a corner with 2 chains. Okay, so 1, 2, and then 3 treble clusters into the same hole that you've just done your last 3 treble clusters. Yay! And we're at the end of our next round. So to close it up, we're going to go in through there, in whichever way you choose. Catch the yarn and bring it through both of them. Okay, so let's count now. We've got 1 hole in the center, then we've got 1, 2, 3 going down the one diagonal. So I need to work a further 2 rounds, and then I will have completed my first square. So here we are at the end of our grey square. We've got our centre hole, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. So we know that it's the right size, and we can just put it down here for reference to see, yep, that's the right size. Now to close off the hole, we're going to go into the top of the chains there. Come on, little chain, open up for me. There we go. Nope, that just popped under. That's because I'm using quite a soft-ended crochet hook, so I need to put, there we go. Bring the yarn through, bring it through there, and then we're going to snip this yarn and we're going to bring it through. There we go. There's our first square. Come on, focus. There we go, thank you. Our first square is complete. Now you're going to need 12 in total of these. And then we can move nicely on to our next section, which this is the basic granny square. We're now going to add on our first mitered section here in beige. So thank you for joining me today in this first instalment of our crochet along. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you something to think about, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow to join me in making the next section. See you there. Bye.